Who else has got it? Every single person in here knows how to do it. Yes, that's the answer right there. No. If I told you that this angle was 20, everyone would have the answer, wouldn't you?
Yeah, maybe.
Why can't you do it when the letter X is there? What's so different? What would you do if that angle was 20? Tell me what you do. 180 minus 20, and then what would you do? So why aren't you doing that on your papers? Why aren't you doing that? 180 minus 2x divided by 2. Oh. Your answer is not going to be a number. Your answer is an expression. An expression is something with the letter X in it, pretty much. Why is it frozen? 180.
Oh, 90 minus X.
Oh, you're recording.
I am. 180 minus 2x divided by 2. That is the procedure to find the base angle of an isosceles triangle. We've done that many, many times. What's 180 divided by 2? 90. What's 2x divided by 2?
X.
Final answer. 90 minus x. Everyone should get number 2 correct. Don't. Throughout this unit, some of you are going to try to tell me that A is true, that B is true, that D is true. You are. You're going to try to tell me that. Even when there's no markings on the picture. There are no markings on that picture. So since there are no markings at all, the only thing we know to be true is that what?
C.
RT is congruent to himself. That's all that we know is true, that a segment is congruent to itself. Okay? RT is congruent to TR because those are the same segment. So we're going to be dealing with that a lot starting tomorrow. We'll deal with that a lot. But A is not true, B is not true, and D is not true. So keep that in mind and don't tell me it's true later in this unit when you're tempted to tell me it's true. All right, we have no homework to check. So let's just take some notes. Title your notes, Congruent Figures. We've talked about congruent angles, we've talked about congruent segments, but we haven't talked about congruent figures yet. So that's what we're going to do in this unit. You're starting fresh. You have a clean slate. So everyone who didn't like how they did in the other 2 units, this is a brand new start, brand new unit. So you can start today. You can start doing your homework every night. You can start today. And you can ace this unit. Alright, so congruent figures have the same size and the same shape. Unlike similar figures, we'll study those after the winter break. Similar figures have the same shape but a different size. But these figures that we're dealing with first, same size, same shape. An exact copy, an exact replica of the other. They should match perfectly. You would think that we're studying transformations, but that's actually the next unit. All that I'm saying is that if I take a figure and I slide it, what I come up with is congruent to what I started with. If I take a figure and I flip it, it's still congruent. If I take a figure and I turn it, it's still congruent. So I don't care. They don't have to have the same orientation. So orientation doesn't matter. Does not matter. The size matters. The shape matters. The only thing that doesn't matter is the orientation. You can flip that thing around and do all sorts of things to that shape as long as it's congruent to the original. We don't care about the orientation. Okay, I've said enough about that. Where do we see congruent figures in the real world? Pretty much if you look at any sort of transportation vehicle, aren't there always congruent things? Like most bicycles have congruent wheels on them. Most cars have congruent wheels on either side. This space shuttle has congruent pentagons right here. So someone had to quality check and make sure that one perfectly matched that one, or else, even if it's just a little bit off, you could just throw off the whole alignment of the space shuttle. Some other places where we see congruent figures. Anyone know what that is? You can tell it's military, right? Can't you tell? Taj Mahal. It's actually a chapel at the Naval Academy. That's a lot of congruent triangles though. Look how many. I don't even know. I've never even counted them, but it's a lot of congruent triangles. And then this bridge is built up of lots of congruent triangles. So it's important to know how to check to see if two things are congruent. So that's what this whole unit is. If I'm given two things, how do I check to see if they're congruent or not? There's 5 triangles. How do I tell which one's congruent to which one? How do I check?
Put it over.
You can't tell. What? Put it over. More information. Overlap it? Okay. Are those congruent? I don't know.
No.
Twist it? I feel like, have you ever played that game, Bop It?
Yeah.
Twist it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought of that when you said twist it. The correct word would be rotate it.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Twist it. So if I rotate it and then I do what Chai said, are they congruent?
Yeah.
Does that confirm it? Sure it does. No, it's not sort of. It surely does. Which other ones do you want to check? Are these two congruent? Oh, see? Not congruent. They have to perfectly overlap. What do you want to check?
Bottom right and
I should have named these, shouldn't I?
column
Bottom right.
and the middle one.
This one?
That one.
Because the colors are similar, you think that?
No. Maybe not. No, the bottom.
Yeah, I
Mm,
think the bottom two.
the bottom two.
Oh, no.
No? Mm-mm. Not quite. There's 2 more that do match up. Oh, I heard that. Okay, so those are done. Those match up.
Oh. That one and that one.
Oh, the two on the
You
right.
whisper loud.
The two on the right.
Can you make your triangle bigger? You allowed to do that?
No! Are we allowed to change the dimensions of our triangle? No. We're going to have to rotate one of these guys. Oh, man.
Oh, it's those two. Just went by the way.
Keep going. Keep rotating. I know there's 2 more. It happened
There you go.
last period.
I told you it was those two. They were doing it by the
I
way.
had to what?
How are we gonna do that on a piece of paper?
Good question. How do you do that on a piece of paper?
Well, there's measurements.
We don't have a smartboard in your hand. That would be cool one day when everyone has a little mini smartboard in their hand. A ruler. So what would we need to measure?
The size.
Angles.
The sides, the angles?
No, size.
The sides? And then I'm done. If I measure all 3 sides of this and all 3 sides of this and they're the same, then are they congruent?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I don't even have to look at the angles?
No.
You have to look at both.
I have to look at both. So I have to measure 6 things on here and 6 things on here. I have to measure 12 things to make sure they're congruent.
Wait, no.
Wow.
Is it?
We're always looking for ways to be lazy. Can we be lazy?
Yes.
Can we measure less than 12 things and still confirm that they're congruent?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to let that sink in. That's what we're talking about tomorrow, is proving them congruent, okay? So tomorrow we're going to talk about that. Think about what you would need to measure, because we want to take shortcuts. We want to be lazy if we can. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Today, we're talking about they are congruent and we're finding out things about them. So go ahead and write this down. If 2 triangles are congruent. Oh!
Okay, so
That's easy. There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Sorry. All right. 2 triangles are congruent if and only if corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. All 6 things have to be congruent for the triangles to be congruent. All 3 angles, all 3 sides of each one. If and only if corresponding sides and corresponding angles are congruent. What does corresponding mean? Because if I use a word 2 times in a definition and you don't understand the word, then you definitely don't understand the definition. I refer to corresponding as, sometimes I call it matching. Corresponding matching, or sometimes I say goes with. And this will make more sense on the next few slides. So corresponding means matching or goes with. So if I say find the corresponding angles, I'm meaning find the matching angles. Find the angle that goes with that angle. So when you hear corresponding, I want you to think matching or goes with. Couple more seconds. Speed right, please. Abbreviate in your notes whenever possible. You'll need to learn this skill for college. When the lecture goes really, really quickly and you can't keep up, you'll have to start abbreviating things because the professor will not stop and will not say it again. And they probably don't have a recorded lesson that you can go back and watch.
What did you do again?
Unless you record it yourself, which is probably totally allowed.
To change.
All right.
I bet you were asking if I was trying.
2 triangles. All right. This right here is called a congruence statement. Say it. Congruence statement. That is a congruence statement. A congruence statement never lies. It can't lie. A congruent statement never lies. So if I tell you triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF, then that means all the corresponding parts are congruent. So angle A is congruent to which angle? Because this doesn't lie. A is listed first and D is listed first. So angle A is congruent to angle D. What about angle B? Angle B, double arc, is congruent to angle E. And surprise, surprise, angle C is congruent to angle F. So whatever order is listed in the congruent statement, that is the order that is true. That is the order of the corresponding parts. Spitting. All right, so angle C, Neelan, is congruent to angle F. So you've got 2 options. You can go off the picture. Oh, C has 3 arcs and F has 3 arcs. You can go off the picture if you're visual, or you can go off the order of the congruent statement if you're more verbal and you like letters, okay? C is listed last, so I would just find the one that's listed last. Yeah. Okay, angle A, anybody? D, and angle B, E. Okay. So that's angles. That's listing corresponding angles. These are corresponding. They go with each other. They match. Now let's try to list corresponding sides. I'm going to list the sides first and then make you list them. Okay. Where's Sean? Aiden goes, tell me put the first one in there. Kylie, go do the second one. And the Pinder, go do the third one. And Arsham, use up all my dry erase marker, please, on your whiteboards. Because he's bored. You can do it. Anybody?
Well, I'm waiting for them to put one down so I can pick up a mark. You know, you can't.
Okay, go ahead and do it because they're not going.
Well, y'all can't all pick up a marker at the same
You
time.
can still pick up a marker, it'll write.
Oh, not
Whatever
okay.
marker's picked up last, that's the color you get. C, B, F, E. Put a segment on top, Aiden.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I lost it.
Nice. Okay. Perfect, Aiden. Sit down.
You took too long for me. I'm sorry.
Thank you. C, D. All right. B, A, E, D. Yes. Very good. Okay, so all we have to do is trust the congruent statement. CB, what order is that?
Yeah.
Last and second, right? So we go over here, we list last and second, FE. Now, on a quiz, if you put EF, would I be able to count it wrong or not be able to count it wrong?
It doesn't matter.
Are these the same segment? Yes, they are the same segment. Now, would Miss Tanton like you to list them in the same order as this? Yes. But do you have to? No. AC listed first and last, so first and last. DF, very good. BA, second and first. ED, second and first. It goes in order. That's awesome. Easy. Identify the congruent triangles below. I'll give you a hint. It doesn't spell nutmeg, although it could. Okay, so we're going to do, just because I don't really want to write nut on the board. Okay, so someone go and finish that off. Drew, you're up. Triangle NTU is congruent to triangle something. And those tick marks are kind of hard to see from this far away. I hope you're looking at the tick marks. They're very light. Well, we're about to find out. Oh, that's an E? That's an E. Yes, very good. It looks like that. That's an E. Totally.
It's a small.
All right, so sometimes I'm not going to give you the congruent statement, and I'm going to make you write the congruent statement. Does order matter here? Absolutely, 110% order matters. So if I name into you, I start at N, I go across 1 tick mark, and then across 3. Across 1, across 3. So I have to do that same thing again. Shane, are you paying attention? Okay, so I have to go across 1, and then across 3. See, across 1. Oops, I didn't go across. Sorry, across 1, across 2. Across 1, across 2. E, M, G. Because I know on these two triangles, it was kind of obvious because it was just barely rotated a tiny bit, like less than 90 degrees. But sometimes they might be rotated very, like flipped and rotated and turned. So you need to be careful and use the tick marks to guide how you name it. All right, let's try another one. Triangle. Alyssa, this one's yours. Triangle XZY is congruent to triangle what? Alright, XZY. X has 3 arcs. What other angle has 3 arcs? M. So that means you have to start with M. X had 3 arcs, so make sure that one has 3 arcs. What about Z? 1 arc. Which one has 1 arc? L. 1, 1, and then whatever's left. Perfect. So when you have arcs on your picture, you should definitely use the arcs and not the tick marks because they're a lot easier to match up than the tick marks are. All right, I'm going to give you a minute to solve it before I call your name because I know a lot of times if I don't call your name, you don't work it because you know I'm not going to ask you. So go ahead and work this one. Given triangle ABF is congruent to triangle CDE. Find the missing measurements. Just warning, the figure's not really drawn to scale. Trust the congruent statement, don't trust your eyes. Trust the statement. Rodolfo, the first blank. Maeli, the second blank. Shane, the third blank. Whenever you're ready. You're matching up sides. You're matching up angles. You're using the congruent statement as truth. Shane. Oh, wait. The measure of angle
Oh,
C.
the measure?
Measure. That's what that M stands for. There's an equal sign, not a congruent sign. The M always means measure, guys. Looking for a number. M stands for measure. Naomi, are you close? Angle B? Which angle does angle B go with? Which angle does angle B go with? What does it correspond to? Which angle?
The first one is just,
B is listed second. Which other one's listed second? Yes, sir. D. Yeah. So go write it. So the only person who had to do any sort of math was Shane, right? Well, any sort of arithmetic. You had to do math, but not arithmetic. All right, so AB. AB is listed first and second. CD is listed first and second. So CD is congruent to AB. The congruent statement never lies. Even if they don't look congruent, I don't care. You trust the congruent statement. So if this is 6 centimeters, then this is 6 centimeters. They correspond. They go with each other. They are congruent. Okay. Angle B. Because really, this is just angle B. You agree with me? The middle letter to simplify things. Angle B goes with, okay, that's listed second. Who else is listed second? Angle D. So that's 85. That means this one is 85. And then Shane added those up and subtracted from 180 and got 67. What angle does F go with? F is listed third and E is listed third. So 67, 67. Are we okay with this? Let's move on. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. I gave you angle B, I gave you angle E, I gave you angle D. Solve for the missing values. Kate, go write the equation. Jalissa, go write X. Hannah, go write angle E. And Bailey, go write angle F. Thank you, ma'am. So you did not add all three of those to equal 180. Thank you. Because that's what people are going to do on the quiz. Oh, you should see the things I saw on the test. People were adding angles plus sides to equal 180. Because they just saw three equations and they're like, oh, that should equal 180 because there's three things. Crazy things. Craziness. Or the one where I gave you the three sides and the perimeter. People added them up to equal 180, the three sides. Ugh. Yes, X is 50. Yes, angle F is 50. And angle E is 90. figure not drawn to scale, obviously, right? Those are not right triangles. Okay, so how do we do this? We found out that B and E were both listed second. So they must be congruent. They correspond. They go together. They're the same angle. So we set them equal. We got x is 50. Plugged it in. 2 times 50 minus 10. And we got 90. That means both of those angles are 90. Angle D is 40. Well, he goes with A. So then all we had to do was add up our two angles and subtract from 180. And that leaves us with 50-50. Right? Almost done. Oh no, they're overlapping. Okay. So let me start it off, or else we'll all have different congruent statements. Let me name this one. I'll do FBR. And you name the other one and find the values, and I'll call names. Mike, go finish off the congruence statement. Julie, you have the first blank. Madison, you have the second blank. And Hubble, you have the third blank. FBR is congruent to ERL. Good. Earl. Yep. You're first, Madison second, Hubble third. FRB 90 minus 58. Cool. Yep, very good. So you're matching them up. What angles go with the other angles? Angle F is listed first and angle E is listed first. So F and E are both 58. LRF. Not LRE, LRF. This angle, look. LRF. Is that angle right there? Okay, go figure it out and then call it out and I'll write it down while I'm talking about it. Okay, so F and E go together. 58, 58. Because our congruent statement, our order says they have to go together. Then we know that angle L is listed last and R is listed last. So angle R is 32. So where did this come from, the 122? Well, those are just a linear pair. That has nothing to do with triangles. She just did linear pair to find that one. And then Hubble is doing 90 minus 32 to get hers. 58. There you go. So the measure of that angle right here was 90 minus 32 to get us 58. Yeah.
How did you get 32 again?
32. I got it by matching. So in my sentence right here, L is listed last. Who else is listed last? R. So looking at this triangle right here, FBR, this angle is 32. Actually, we didn't even have to match, did we? Look, 58, 90, and missing angle. So you could have just done triangle angle sum, 180 minus 58 minus 90, gotten 32. But this angle corresponds with that angle right there. All right, last slide of my lesson. On the count of 3, everyone yell what this is called. Not that, but that. 1, 2, 3. Congruence statement. Everybody say it. 1, 2, 3.
Congruent statement.
Okay.